What's up, Mansion Builders? I want to talk to you about hitting your goals, hitting big old goals. And most people limit themselves, right? It's in between your ears here. What is stopping you from reaching for the stars, from getting out of the rat race, from retiring early, retiring your spouse? And I talk to a lot of people and they just say, hey, you know what, Brad, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready to build a mansion. I don't have what it takes, right? I don't have the money. I don't have the experience. I don't know how to do the different things. I'm just really not good enough, right? I'm working on it and I just need more time. And I want to tell you, it's not about that. There is always, me included, people who will say, I need more. I'm not good enough for this kind of stuff, right? That's just human nature. You don't need more. You need better systems. You need structure. I want to talk to you about that. There is a process, there are systems that can make things that are unattainable very attainable, right? For me and Laura, as we were going through this, that was not the case, right? Like, I used to think to be an entrepreneur, you just had to slam your head against the wall over and over and over again until you succeeded a little bit, and then you moved to the next wall and you had to keep bashing your head against it. And it was all about grit. It was all about determination. It was all about working every single day, including Sundays. And, it was just 80 hours a week. This is what the grind took. This is what it was like to be an entrepreneur. And that was what it was like for me, right? And I've been through several different businesses, and sometimes I've gotten it quick, and sometimes I've had to bang my head against the wall. And so as we were building Platinum Resort, that was kind of what our journey was. It was several years of mistakes and failures and hitting our head against the wall and trying to figure it out. But that's because we did not have the systems, we did not have the structure. And I want to share with you, if you have a process, if you can say, hey, you know what? It's not about how great I am. It's about how great the system is. It's about how great and simplified and clear step by step is. I might have to do all of these things. It might not be easy, but it's very easy for me to break it into step-by-step, bite-sized pieces and just take the appropriate action over how long that takes. That is attainable. I learned this lesson a little too late. Successful people follow successful people. I thought you had to just outwork everyone to be successful. I thought you just had to be unnaturally just weirdo human, just grit, just going at it, right? When I first got into house flipping, I hired a mentor, and this person lived local to me. He had what I wanted. His business is or was what I wanted my business to be, right? He was flipping roughly about 100 houses a year. He lived 30 minutes away, same market, right? I paid him a lot of money, and I just copy and pasted his systems and his steps and his process, right? And within, Laura and I pretty much skyrocketed really quickly, right? We were scaling, and within probably 3 years, we're flipping about 35 to 45 houses a year. And I thought that was amazing, and we made great money. But here's what it was. We paid someone, we paid for speed, and then we just said, let's copy and paste the steps. Here is the steps. We are going to start with this marketing, right? We're going to do the exact same things you are. Here are the letters. Here's the offers, right? Here's how we do our deal structure. Here is how we run our numbers, right? All of that the same. Then it's like, okay, here's construction. Here's the exact same materials list. We're going to do this. Here's how we're going to estimate everything. Here's how we're going to go find our contractors. Boom, let's copy and paste that. Here's how we make the sales on these things. Here's how we find realtors. Here's how we list the price. Here's how we negotiate. Boom, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And each one of those 4 things had 10 to 20 different steps and subpoints below it. And we just followed the steps and the systems and the structure. And it was like, it was not easy. I shouldn't say it was easy, but it was done and it was there, and we were successful. Really within the first year we were successful, and then very successful within 3 years after that, because there was somebody who went before me and blazed the trail, right? They went through the hard stuff. He was the one hitting his head against the wall over and over again and figuring it out. So I want to encourage you, if you are not the entrepreneurial type spirit, right? You don't have an unprecedented amount of grit and determination and sheer will, man, sometimes you just don't need that. Sometimes you just need to pay for speed, follow the successful people, do exactly what their steps and processes are. It's not going to be easy. It's still going to be hard work, but you can walk through things and you just shortcut the whole list of hard times, right? So we have teams that we partner with, and they really just copy and paste our business model. And I'm super encouraged. I have this partner of ours who just started like literally 4 or 5 weeks ago. And in those 4 or 5 weeks, she just blew through all the different steps, right? And she's now under contract with a 3-acre piece of land. She has a awesome site plan that she's already submitted to the city, and that's looking good. She has a pre-approval from our preferred lender. She's already made investor presentations and has money on deck to be able to raise from investors. She's blowing through the steps. And you know what? You know how long that stuff took me? It took me like a year and a half to fumble my way through that. And that is what is awesome about business, is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Every time you get into a new business, you don't have to, as the entrepreneur, figure out all of these things over and over and over again. You just follow the path of success. Things that don't work, people that fail, right? They go out of business. You don't follow them. The people who are doing it, who are scaling, who are growing, and honestly, a lot of times very successful people are abundance in their mindset. We want to share. This is why I pretty much share everything of my entire business on this podcast, right? Because I know that there are people that can make a difference in all these other cities. I can't be in every single city, right? And so there is an abundance mindset with a lot of people who are successful. You just got to go meet them. Sometimes you may hire them as a mentor. You may pay for a course. That is totally okay. I am a huge proponent of paying for speed. I've done it in multiple different industries, and I think it's way more important. I've spent so much more after college on mentorships and courses and things like that than I have in college. And I would say it's drastically made me so much more money. So really what I think most people need to be successful is that as they are getting into a new business is really just a system and a structure. And so for Assisted Living Mansion and Platinum Resort, here's what our structure looks like from an overview. I'll take our entire business and I'll break it into 3 sections, right? We have a real estate section, we have a marketing section, and we have a operations section. And then from each of those sections or frameworks, we'll break it into sub-frameworks. So in my real estate framework, there is 3 sections there. There is finding the right location, that's location selection. There is funding, and there's construction. And so if you are brand new to this, that's where you start. And you say, okay, well, what is the steps of location selection? And there's probably 12, 15 different steps that we have. And it's like, hey, just do this and do this and do this. Ask these questions to the city. This is what the zoning looks like. And go through these steps, right? And then it's the same with funding. Here's what our tools look like. If you have something that's copy and paste, here's your business plan, here's your pro forma, here's how to run the numbers, right? Here is a list of preferred lenders that do SBA deals for assisted livings. Here is how to give an investor presentation. Here's all the tools. Here's everything that you need for paperwork, right? It becomes now here it's like almost like a little skipping steps, like just step by step by step by step, you can walk through the whole process. Same with construction. If here's the plans, you're going to copy and paste this building. Here's what to consider for your local permits and things. Here's how to vet builders and somebody who can go through and look at all your different bids and make sure everything's in order. It becomes super smooth and streamlined. And you take this process that took me several years, you can consolidate and condense that thing down, by 90%, right? And then we look at what we do for marketing. Marketing, I really split into 2 sides. There is digital marketing. So that's everything relating to social media, your website, and really we start with digital marketing relating to raising money. Digital marketing is how do I get investors, right? That's the front side of marketing. Then the back side is the strategic 20. It's how do we fill our beds? It's how do we build a wait list even while we're under construction? It's how do we meet and have a system and a structure for meeting the people in our industry and our community that are people who are going to send us referrals, right? That's marketing. And then operations. Operations we break into 10 different frameworks, starting with licensure and all of your paperwork, into staff training and hiring, into resident care, into outside services, into medication management, and a few others. If you have a step-by-step system and structure for all of this stuff, even though it's a ton of things, man, it just becomes one step after the next, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's really what coaches, mentors are all about, right? They're here to say, here is the path. It sucked for me, but here's the easy button for you, right? So I would encourage you, if you want to get into this kind of deal, There is so much opportunity. Every single city, every single state, there are baby boomers that are aging out and need all of this care. And so I think most normal people can do this. I don't think you have to be a millionaire. I don't think you have to be a nurse or a doctor. I don't think you have to be some special kind of businessman. I think that an average person, an average couple, husband and wife, could tag team and do this together. And so here are the steps, right? Go on our website, assistedlivingmansion.com, hit the free resources. I have 3 courses there that are for free, and we break down step by step by step how to go through this. It's pretty linear. You can just walk through all of the steps there. It doesn't cost anything, and go and learn and build out a life-changing deal for you. I've been able to hit millions of dollars in equity and have amazing money that comes in very, very consistently every single month. And I don't know any other opportunity in real estate or in business that can provide this for you.